Right. Hello, everyone. This is an introductory lecture to the class, Intro to Ethics, and I'm Jonathan Finch, and we'll be talking about today, right, the need for ethics. Now, there's a very good, right, example of this from Thomas Hobbes' famous book, Leviathan. I want to read this quote very quickly, and then we're going to go over, right, the argument it contains, right. So what will life without society and culture be? He'll call this the state of nature. Right? There's no place for industry because the fruit thereof is uncertain. Right? What he's talking about here is if you, right, spend time making something, planting crops, doing things, and you have no guarantee that this is going to belong to you after this process is over, right? It's hard to motivate yourself, shall we say, to do stuff. So, right, because the fruit thereof is uncertain, because you don't know what's going to happen in the state of nature, you can make yourself and plant yourself an entire field full of crops, and some bad people come along and simply take your crops. Nothing you can do about it, right? Same thing with any structure you build. You build a house, nice house, people can come force you out of it, right? If they leave you alive at all, right? Because there's no rules, right? There's no society, no culture, no police, nobody to call, right? We're kind of left kind of huddling in caves, right? That's what Hobbes has in mind by the state of nature, and the desire, therefore, to leave it. That this is not of benefit, right, to anyone, right, compared to the benefits that can be, right, derived from living in a society, from living in a culture, from living in something that allows, right, for the possibility that you can get the fruits of your labor. The government may take 10, 20, 50% in taxes, but at least they leave something for yourself, right? So, and consequently, because no industry, right, no use of the culture of the earth, no navigation, nor use of the commodities that may be imported by sea, no commodious building, no instruments of moving and removing, no knowledge of the face of the earth, no account of time, no arts, no letters, no society, and which is worst of all, continual fear and danger of violent death, and the life of man, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short in the life of humanity. Right, this is what would be facing, right, for Hobbes, for Thomas Hobbes. Anybody in the state of nature, right, we're living alone, right, scared, frightened most of the time. You don't know other people are going to try to come after you, but perhaps they, right, have a malintent. So what makes, right, this state of nature so bad for Hobbes? And Hobbes will identify four primary causes of this. The first is what we're going to call the quality of need. We all need the same kind of things, being humans, being members of the same species. We compete for, right, the same water, food, shelter, right, iPhones, whatever it may be. We're thrown into immediate competition, like any species out there that has a limited amount of resources, right? Who gets what and who gets the extra portions, that kind of stuff, right? So, everybody once needs the same thing, and now we have scarcity. When the ancient Egyptians, right, 3000 BC or so, had beer, right, because they had the Nile, they had these floodwaters that came every year, put down new, right, effectively new soil, new places to plant food, right, then you grow, and it had surplus food. So the result was they could, right, take their surplus food and make it into alcoholic beverages. They learned how to do this, right? So somebody gets to live along the Nile. Somebody gets to live, right, on the Indus River, right, in India, and the Yellow River in China, the Tigris-Euphrates River in Mesopotamia. These are what we call civilization-founding rivers. Now, there are a few people that get these, but not everybody does. Someone's got to live in the tundra, shall we say. Someone's got up there in the Eskimos. So who, right, gets to live where is, right, scarcity. Well, there's plenty of land, shall we say, but not plenty of good land. And who gets the good land has always been, right, a point of contention. Now, the difficulty, right, shall we say, one of the difficulties with, so we're all thrown into competition, and there's not enough to go around for all our wants. So we have also, says Hobbes, this equality of power, right, where both, all of us are effectively equal in strength to the other. Oh, sure, some people are faster, stronger, right, supposedly smarter, that kind of nonsense, right? But they're not capable of escaping the state of nature by themselves. When people have to sleep, and all must sleep, right, they are vulnerable. Right, and drop a rock on their head, right? 3 or 4 people get together. So it's not possible to create a state of nature, it's not possible to escape the state of nature, right, by creating your own society, your own culture, right, by yourself. You're going to have some kind of cooperation, some kind of group, even if you had a group of 10, 20 people who all volunteered, right, to watch the other humans and make sure they are behaving properly. You'd still have to have some form of cooperation at the beginning of a society, some kind of contract agreement between, right, these various overlords on how they're going to go about their business, right? And while altruism is people thinking about you, right, taking care of others, right, not expecting anything in return, right, whereas it's limited in advanced society. You can't expect people necessarily to be nice to you, be kind to you. It is, right, no guarantee at all in the state of nature. When you're thrown directly into competition with other individuals, we could well expect, right, that you wouldn't run across any altruism. In other words, no one's going to come and solve this problem for you. So you have things you need, it's in scarce demand, you can't really do it all yourself, and you can't expect really assistance from others. So, right, what are we going to do about this situation? How do we rectify it, escape from the state of nature, right, and achieve a place, right, get to a place where we can have society, culture, and therefore, the fruits of industry, right, can be protected. So a good example of what happens in a breakdown society. I lived through Hurricane Andrew back in down in Miami, Florida, right? And after this hurricane, horrible hurricane blows through, right? You had signs going up saying looters will be shot on sight, right? Because you had no way to call back then. We had just had phone lines, didn't have a lot of cell phones, right? I don't think we had any really, just government agents, maybe things like that. But anyway, you couldn't really get a hold of anybody. There wasn't a way to get through the roads, right? I drove down from up north where we had retreated to bring some food down, and it took 6 hours to make a 2-hour drive. So the thing was, Miami was in bad shape, and you'll see things kind of revert back to. So you're going to stay home and guard your house, guard your possessions. You can't afford to go to work. And once again, we have no industry. You have no ability to do anything because you're sitting on top of your house with a shotgun, right, trying to protect what you've managed have to scrounge together so far, right? Another example of this would be, right, the world's nations for Hobbes are in a state of nature. Right, they're all armed, warring constantly all the time. It's become a regular thing, right, for America now to be involved in foreign wars. Times of peace used to be considered the normal, and now times of war are considered the normal. So we have, right, a good example of what it's like, right, when we don't have, right, because there is no world police. There is nobody you can go to if somebody's misbehaving. They're starting to play with stuff like this, like the World Criminal Court in The Hague, and trying to get people that are, accountable. But it's not, right, shall we say, complete, final, and total, right? It's difficult, right, to implement, right, any kind of policing, right, and control in, right, between nations. Certainly between larger ones, it's impossible, right, currently.